Om Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avataravariштaya Ramakrishna te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who came to establish universal religion, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's topic I have chosen words of great meaning. Sri Ramakrishna has used many words which have great significance. In fact, in Providence, one devotee was telling that he wanted to write sutras of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And he has been doing since some years. He has made about 700 sutras of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. When I was talking there, I made a remark. Gospel of Ramakrishna, if you read carefully, attentively, devotedly, sincerely, you will find every sentence is like a sutra. Every word has got a great meaning. And it is true. One must have proper intellect to understand the deeper meanings of what Sri Ramakrishna has said in the Gospel. There are many phrases Sri Ramakrishna uses in the Gospel. One is lust and gold. Another is faith and surrender. Third one is unadulterated love, devotion, constant prayer. Every phrase can become a chapter. And Sri Ramakrishna has said so many things. And we are really fortunate to have those teachings. If we really pursue them, we are sure to reach our goal. One such phrase Sri Ramakrishna uses, which has got very great meaning, that is not daya but seva. It is really remarkable how one should conduct oneself in doing service, in helping the people. One should have proper attitude. That is, If a person is humble and does his work as service, it has got great spiritual benefit. It purifies his heart and his life becomes blessed. Swami Vivekananda has given several lectures on Karma Yoga between December 1895 and January 1896 in New York. He again gave several soul-stirring discourses on service to the Indian nation in different parts of India. He founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897 with the specific idea of doing service to the humanity. All these interpretations of a single message from Sri Ramakrishna, which Swami Vivekananda overheard in 1884. The words look very simple, but they have got revolutionizing effect. If you apply them properly in the life, it revolutionizes, it transforms a person. He will be a totally different person. A secular person becomes spiritual. Impure person becomes pure. Egoistic becomes egoless. So, tremendous benefit is there. Sri Ramakrishna was one day commenting on the Vaishnava ideal of compassion. And there he made remark, who are you to show compassion? No, it cannot be. Not compassion for others, but rather the service of man. Recognizing him to be a veritable manifestation of God. Only with that attitude you develop reverence, devotion, and you will be able to discharge service effectively. Swamiji himself had remarked that he had discovered a wonderful light in those words of the Master. How beautifully Sri Ramakrishna has reconciled the ideal of bhakti with the knowledge of the Vedanta. The usual idea is that the practice of the knowledge of Vedanta demands a complete withdrawal from society. That is the usual idea generally people have about Vedanta. Serving man, knowing him to be the manifestation of God, purifies the heart, and in a short time the aspirant who does this realizes that he is a part of God, existence, knowledge, bliss absolute. Those words of the Master throw an altogether new light upon the path of devotion. If it be the will of God, the day will soon come when I shall proclaim this grand truth to the world at large. Swami Vivekananda, when he heard this, not daya but seva, that created tremendous impact in Swami Vivekananda's mind. Then and there he made a resolve that in course of time he would be able to broadcast this most beautiful, revolutionizing message of Sri Ramakrishna. Just a few words of Ramakrishna uttered in ecstasy. And today we have an organization serving millions, looking upon everyone as manifestation of God. Shivajnane Jiva Seva. That concept is the motto of the service rendered by Ramakrishna Mission. Not only the Ramakrishna Mission, but hundreds of other organizations have actively taken to the path of service. Karma as yoga. Was this ideal of seeing God as human beings not there before? It's a good question. It might have been there in a seed form. The Christian ideal was serving God's creation with love, not seeing people as God, but as brothers and sisters. The Islamic ideal is to call all faithful as brothers and look down upon those who did not belong to that fold. So this way of service is new, only benefits the server, which of course is ultimate spiritual motive, but also the served and thereby the society at large. Thus, religion, once termed otherworldly, has become absolutely this worldly and for all to practice with remarkable ease. These are the interpretations of Swami Vivekananda on Sri Ramakrishna's message, not daya but seva. What is qualified non-dualism? Narendra's question. That brilliant young man who had mastered much of philosophy was told about qualified non-dualism, or it's also called as Vishishtadvaita, by Sri Ramakrishna for the first time at Giri's house on 11th March 1885. This Vishishtadvaita, it is the theory of Ramanuj. Sri Ramakrishna said, according to this theory, Brahman, or the Absolute, is qualified by the universe and its living beings. The Nitya and the Leela are the two aspects of one and the same reality. Therefore, according to Ramanuj, Brahman is qualified by the universe and the living beings. So Sri Ramakrishna has said this in the Gospel. The Brahma training of an impersonal, formless Brahman, the mental makeup of a leaning towards Advaita, and the Western philosophical influence calling for a formless God, all these seem to melt in Narendra's accepting God with form as also real. The consequence, the famous Bhakti Yoga lectures, which form the heart of Swami Vivekananda's complete works. Not only that, the formation of the Ramakrishna order of monks with the Ramakrishna Math as its center was an indirect interpretation of the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. Moreover, Narendra, who had not accepted the ideal of avatar, incarnation, because of his Advaita training, was told only 3 days before his leaving the body by Sri Ramakrishna that he was an avatar. The Master has said many a time that he is an incarnation of God. If he now says in midst of the throes of death, in this terrible moment of human anguish and physical pain, I am God incarnate, then I will believe. So this thought came to Narendranath. No sooner had Narendra thought this, Then the master turned towards him and summoning all energy, Sri Ramakrishna said, "O my Narayan, are you not convinced? He who was Sri Rama, he who was Sri Krishna, he himself is now Ramakrishna in the body. Not in our Vedantic sense, but actually so." This avatar ideal is behind the formation of the Ramakrishna Math, circling round which thousands are attaining spiritual solace and peace today. The avatar again is at the center of Vivekananda's Bhakti Yoga. The Advaitin that Swamiji was, he wouldn't have so easily accepted emotional spiritual life had he not seen Sri Ramakrishna himself as Radha once. Despite all the cadences of Advaita Vedanta, the masses understand devotion easily. And Swamiji understood this truth under Sri Ramakrishna when he had to accept Mother Kali. So, Bhakti Yoga was an important path for the millions, and Swamiji gave it based on Sri Ramakrishna's teachings on Vishishtadvaita and the Avatara ideal. And Sri Ramakrishna had told Naren as early as in October 1882 that bhakti is the essence of all spiritual disciplines. Through love one acquires renunciation and discrimination gradually. Whom do we love here? We love someone who is our very own, as Sri Ramakrishna told Narendra once. So Swamiji said, "Be strong and stand up and seek the God of love. This is the highest strength." Sitting with his master at the Star Theatre, Narendra said that the whole world is a theatre. Sri Ramakrishna agreed and added, "In some places you see the play of Vidya, and in some the play of Avidya." Narendra said that everything is the play of Vidya itself. Sri Ramakrishna agreed. True, true. But a man realizes that when he has the knowledge of Brahman, but for a bhakta, both exist, Vidyamaya and Avidyamaya. Realization of Brahman, to become Brahman itself. Narendra had said some time ago to Sri Ramakrishna that he would sit at the edge of the cup and sip the nectar in it. Sri Ramakrishna had laughed and replied that Narendra need not be afraid of drowning in that nectar. It was the nectar of immortality, Amrit Sagar. And so there was no fear of death there. Sri Ramakrishna said this in the gospel. Now when Sri Ramakrishna wanted him to be a huge banyan tree, giving shelter to weary travelers, Narendra firmly said he wanted to be immersed in the cup of supreme bliss always, and would only occasionally stir out to feed his body. What a change! In less than 4 years, the Supreme Master had transformed his disciple, rather brought out of his disciple his original nature. And what was that transformation? One who knows Brahman becomes Brahman itself. Since that is the case, the Master kept his disciples' knowledge under lock and key for the good of the world. Swamiji was forced to work, as it were. His knowledge of the Absolute made him deliver the best ever lectures on Jnana Yoga, which will appeal to all rational minds for all times to come. For the worker, it was Karma Yoga. For the emotional, it was Bhakti Yoga. And for the rational, it was Jnana Yoga. How did Swamiji interpret Sri Ramakrishna's teaching to him about the immortal syrup in a cup? The finite manifested man forgets his source and thinks himself to be entirely separate. We are in reality the infinite being, and our personalities represent so many channels through which the infinite reality is manifesting itself. In Girish Ghosh's home, a little discussion has begun, as per the master's wish, between Girish and Narendra. Narendra states that God is beyond words or thought. Sri Ramakrishna intervenes and said, no, that's not true. He can be known by the pure buddhi, which is the same as the pure self. Lord Krishna also tells in the Bhagavad Gita, buddhi yogam dadami. Buddhi yogam dadami. I give you buddhi yoga. Whatever Ramakrishna meant by the term pure buddhi, this was the basis of a grand yoga which Swamiji rediscovered for the benefit of the world. And that is Raja Yoga. It bases itself on the concept of buddhi, which is the link between the Purusha and Prakriti. When Sri Ramakrishna began discussing the Buddha with Narendra and others one day, he could hardly speak. He was preparing to leave the world for good. At such a juncture, Sri Ramakrishna again told Narendra about buddhi and said that the buddhi had attained a state between asti and nasti. That is, between is and is not. This experience of the self, of the Buddha, and Sri Ramakrishna's repeated references to various types of samadhis led Swami Vivekananda to interpret these teachings as yoga. He introduces Raj Yoga by also saying that there are much higher states of existence beyond reasoning. It is really beyond the intellect that the first state of religious life is to be found. One important teaching of Sri Ramakrishna is that one should not say God can be attained through one single path alone. One should not say that. He told Narendra, who was once seen discussing about a bad sect with some aversion, there are various paths to God. Each view is a path. It is in this perspective that we should read Vivekananda's words on sadhana. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do it either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. And he declared at the religious parliament in Chicago that holiness, purity and charity are not the exclusive possessions of any church in the world. He was of the same opinion about the 4 yogas also. He said, if there is anything which Sri Ramakrishna has urged us to give up as carefully as lust and wealth, it is the limiting of the infinitude of God. By circumscribing it within narrow bounds, whoever therefore will try to limit the infinite ideals of Sri Ramakrishna in that way will go against him and be his enemy. Sri Ramakrishna's grand ideal of as many faiths, so many paths has been immensely amplified in Swami Vivekananda's words and works. Another important message Sri Ramakrishna gives in the gospel, renunciation, the ideal of ideals. The ideal of ideals. It is lust and gold that binds man and robs him of his freedom. It is lust that creates the need for gold. There are so many ideas about renunciation in the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Holy Mother also says that renunciation was the greatest teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. How does Swamiji interpret this? A disciple asks Swamiji, well then, is it true that without sannyas there can be no knowledge of Brahman? Swamiji replied, that is true 1,000 times. One must have both internal and external sannyasa, renunciation in spirit as also formal renunciation. Without dispassion for the world, without renunciation, without giving up the desire for enjoyment, absolutely nothing can be accomplished in spiritual life. Swamiji's interpretation went further. He initiated a strong monastic movement which is unique in several ways and beats all old records. Since that's another subject, we would only mention that the future of the world is balanced on the fulcrum of worldliness and renunciation, and those who renounce, if only mentally, are sure to attain the highest goal. That was why Sri Ramakrishna incarnated. Incarnations have special purposes in life. Though they are unlimited, they as it were remain limited for the good of the world. Sri Ramakrishna himself describes this state of his in several ways. Interpreting it, Swami Vivekananda says, Sri Ramakrishna used to say that the avatars alone can descend to the ordinary plane from that state of samadhi for the good of the world. Ordinary jivas do not immerse in that state. They remain alive for a period of 21 days. After that, their body drops like a leaf from the tree of samsara. Swamiji discussed this subject at length in his conversation with his disciple. Regarding God, Sri Ramakrishna repeated times without number that he is both with form and without form. Again, he is beyond both. None can limit God. He would say that God is infinite. Swami Vivekananda interprets it at several places in many ways and always bows down to the wonderful Catholicity of Sri Ramakrishna, who bred the greatest scholars of the world in this respect. He says, as we saw earlier, if there is anything which Sri Ramakrishna has urged us to give up as carefully as lust and wealth, it is the limiting of the infinitude of God by circumscribing it within narrow bounds. Regarding Sri Ramakrishna's teachings themselves, in the context of quarreling sects, Swami Vivekananda says, you will see a regular bullfight going on about these various sects and things. Thus it remains. Then came one whose life was the working out of the harmony that is the background of all the different sects of India. I mean Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He used generally to teach dualism. As a rule, he never taught Advaitism, but he taught it to be. He told Swami Vivekananda to read Ashtavakra Samhita, but not to others. Swami Vivekananda's 9-volume complete works are a detailed interpretation of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings on the 4 yogas, on realization, on God, on renunciation, on harmony, etc. What was the method of approach adopted by Swami Vivekananda? It was that of a student learning from his teacher and not a critic or a Purvapakshin. Swamiji could have been a Purvapakshin and could have constantly criticized his Guru. But after a 6-year-long fight over all that was taught, Narendra had come to know that Sri Ramakrishna was the greatest of the teachers and had understood him fully. He had therefore accepted him and had surrendered himself completely at his feet. Thus, the teacher and the taught had become one. The teachings of the teacher and the taught had become one. What was the best interpretation of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings? The answer is, it was Vivekananda himself. Wonderful. So, when we read Gospel, we should read every word carefully, attentively. Even while reading, we get purified and inspires us to go forward in the spiritual path. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room, surrounded by devotees. Navagopal, Haralal, Rakhal, Latu, and others were present. A Goswami, who was a musician, was also there. M arrived with Dr. Rakhal of Bobazar. The physician began to examine the master. He was a stout person and had rather thick fingers. Master, smiling to the physician, "Your fingers are like a wrestler's." Mahendra Sarkar also examined me. He pressed my tongue so hard that it hurt me. He pressed my tongue the way they press a cow's. Doctor said, "I shall not hurt you, sir." The physician made out his prescription. Sri Ramakrishna was talking. Master said to the devotees, "Well, people ask why, if I am such a holy person, I should be ill." Tarak, Bhagwan Das Babaji, he too was ill and bedridden a long time. Master said, "But look at Dr. Madhu. At the age of 60, he carries food to the house of his mistress and he has no illness." Goswami, "Sir, your illness is for the sake of others. You take upon yourself the sins of those who come to you. You fall ill because you accept their sins." A devotee said, "You will soon be cured if only you say to the Divine Mother, 'Mother, please make me well.'" Master said, "I can't ask God to cure my disease." The attitude of the servant-master relationship is nowadays less strong in me. Once in a while I say, "Oh Mother, please mend the sheath," referring to his body. "Please mend the sheath of the sword Please mend the sheath of the sword a little." But such prayers are also becoming less frequent. Nowadays, I do not find my I see that it is God alone who resides in this sheath. The Goswami had been invited to sing Kirtan. A devotee asked, "Will there be any Kirtan?" Sri Ramakrishna was ill and all were afraid that the Kirtan might throw his mind into ecstasy and thus aggravate the illness. Sri Ramakrishna said, "Let there be a little singing." All are afraid of my going into ecstasy. Spiritual emotion hurts the throat. The Goswami began the Kirtan. Sri Ramakrishna could not control himself. He stood up and began to dance with the devotees. The physician watched the whole scene. A little carriage was waiting for Dr. Rakhal. He and M were ready to leave for Calcutta. They saluted the master. Sri Ramakrishna said to M affectionately, "Have you had your meal?" It was night of the full moon. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small couch. He was very ill. M and some other devotees were sitting on the floor. Master said to M, "Every now and then I think that the body is a mere pillowcase. The only real substance is the indivisible Chidananda. When I go into divine ecstasy, this illness of the throat remains away from me. I am now somewhat in that mood, and so I feel like laughing." Some ladies of Dvija's family arrived. They saluted the master and sat on one side. Pointing to one of the ladies, Sri Ramakrishna said, "Who is this lady? Is it she who brought up Dvija? Why has Dvija bought an ektara?" Yam said, "It has 2 strings, sir. It's a music instrument." Master said, "Dvija's father is opposed to his views. Won't other people criticize him? It is wise for him to pray to God secretly." A picture of Gauranga and Nitai hung on the wall of the master's room. It was a picture of the 2 brothers singing devotional songs with their companions at Navadvip. Ramlal said to the master, "Then may I give him?" Meaning M. the picture? Master said, yes. Sri Ramakrishna was then under Dr. Pratap's treatment. He awoke at midnight and felt extremely restless. Harish, his attendant, was in the room. Rakal also was there. Ramlal was asleep on the veranda. The master remarked later on, I was feeling extremely restless. I felt like embracing Harish. They rubbed a little medicinal oil on my head. Then I began to dance. That completes 44 chapters. Next Tuesday I have to begin chapter 45. Sri Ramakrishna at Shampakor. Any questions to discuss or... No, the point is not daya but service. The idea behind this teaching is that if you say daya, you feel I am showing compassion. That attitude is not good because it may make the person egoistic. I am helping him. I am giving him. I am kind to him. But service will not have that kind of attitude. Service means you are humble. Devotedly you do. Suppose you come to God. You are expected to offer your service in a humble way. That means the ego will not play much. That attitude helps. Instead of telling I am showing compassion, if you say I am serving him, it makes big difference. Yeah. The idea there is like this. There it means, daya means you must be kind-hearted. Certainly, kind-hearted one should be. But one need not become egoistic. But the way in which you use that word daya, if you are a kind-hearted person, you automatically, with all your humbleness, you feel highly sympathetic and go out of the way to help a person. That is very good. But the other side of it is that I am showing compassion. Lots of people are, say for example, just to give this worldly example, Bill Gates has given millions of dollars for the aid patients all over the world. He has given. On one side of it, it's a very good act. He has given the money. But on the other side of it, he has given the money so that he is publicized. See, though it is an act of compassion, but because the attitude is different, he doesn't have the benefit of the kind-heartedness. If you are really kind-hearted, you would not have to make broadcast like that. In a humble way, he could go and give. It is just like anonymous donation. He doesn't want to know his name to be known to any people. So, completely free from the idea that I am giving, I am doing, I am helping, that should not be there. If a person could be kind-hearted without that feeling of I and mine, he is a wonderful person. So daya we should have, undoubtedly. It is not, we are not denouncing, we are not condemning daya. But the attitude by which you work, that is to be carefully watched. That's the meaning. If you have the service attitude, then you won't feel boastful. Otherwise, every now and then you will be telling, oh, I give so much, I helped him so much, that rascal is behaving in a different way now. Maybe like that people scold. And that's how the worldly people, in a worldly way, they criticize. That's all. Any questions? And spending his money for the service. It is for others to remark, oh, how kind-hearted he is. That's very good. But you yourself should not say, I am kind-hearted. I did this out of compassion. And in fact, I remember one incident. I had gone to downtown in Bangalore for during anniversary time for collection. And they had gone to one particular shop that the owner was talking on the phone, and he was telling, see these people, I made special upma for all these workers, and they did not recognize with how much compassion I have done. I don't have to give them food. Whatever work they do, they get money. Out of compassion I have done this. Like that he was telling. So do you call this type of compassion, is it good to feel that way? And this compassion is making him restless. He is criticizing them. And these people have no gratitude in spite of my giving food for them. I am not supposed to give food for them, but I have given out of compassion. Look at these fellows, how they behave. Like this passing remark. So that means he doesn't have the idea that everyone is a manifestation of God and he is serving them. That idea is not there. So that kind of compassion is not good. That's the meaning. If you have the compassion with the idea that everyone is part and parcel of God, is Sri Ramchandra himself. If you have that idea and serve, that's really very good compassion. That's the way. There is so many shades of compassion. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this company, in this empty life and heart, no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine's no prayer for wealth or retinue. The playthings of lust or the ties of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when the instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years. When my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe is satisfied.